Well, it was I'm very proud of our guys for battling and fighting for 40 minutes. It's been a tough stretch for us, and I thought our guys came out, with, like I said, with a winning effort. I thought we had some other winning efforts. We came up short. Today, our winning effort, got rewarded. We were able to win the game against a good, Utah team who's been playing very well, got some really good wins, and I'm just really proud of our guys for the way they responded, after everything that we've gone through over the last, several weeks.
You just talked about what a tough stretch this has been. How big is this win for that locker room? Is it like a big weight lifted off your shoulders?
I think it is. I think it helps our guys from the standpoint of, it's hard to, when you're going through a losing streak like that, no matter what, you're trying to keep your guys' spirits up. You're trying to keep them positive, trying to keep them confident, because this game is a lot about that. And when you're going through a stretch like that, it can get beat up some. And so, having a win like this, I think will help. I mean, I'm not, it doesn't solve everything. We have to get better X and O's in what we're doing, on the floor execution-wise. But it does help as far as their mindset as we move forward.
Johnny, prior to the 7-game losing streak, the team was competing with top-ranked teams in the nation and being up there and saying everybody's up there. And it the momentum kind of died down during that 7-game losing streak. What did you see tonight that the team came back from that 7-game losing streak?
Well, I thought I saw some amazing fight. I thought our guys were able to make the plays we need to make, timely. I thought, they're a very good team. They're one of the biggest teams in the country. I think they're top 5 in the nation with regards to size and length. You're not going to play main teams as long as they are. They're very talented. I thought our guys did a good job of executing our game plan, which starts there every time. You got to execute your game plan. And I thought our guys made the plays that we needed to make. It was great to see, guys like Debo and Tyler who came in the game for us. They gave us a huge lift. Tyler in the first half, Debo in the second half, and they both defended well for us. So, we need everybody. We're a team that plays with our depth. And so having those guys, contribute to the way they did, I think was very, very impactful for our team.
Coach, you get down 12-2, 4 minutes in, then you call that timeout. And you come out of the timeout, and guys are much more aggressive on the switch, especially Moustapha. He was really a level of physicality from him. He scored 9 of your 16 points in that 16-2 run. What was the message in that timeout that you think ignited your guys?
Well, I just talked to our guys about just playing every possession, just play it all out. Don't pace yourself. Go out there, leave it all out there on the floor, every possession. And that's something that we preach here a lot about how we want to play, how hard we want to play. And so our guys, I thought they came out of the timeout. Knew we didn't start the game out the way we wanted to. It wasn't the best start, but we had time to make up for that. And I thought our guys were able to do that with their aggressiveness and, just like you said, just their energy.
Coach, you guys had 33 points on the bench tonight. Tell us about the impact they had.
Like I said before, our bench, did a great job. I thought Debo and Tyler, especially those two guys, in the first half, I thought Tyler made some really good threes and timely shots for us with simple basketball plays. And I thought in the second half, Debo did the same thing. And then we had more guys, whether it's, Benny coming in, he was able to contribute for us as well. And so, yeah, and Juice, because Juice is on the, came off the bench, so he was able to give us a huge lift as well. So those guys did a great job for us, being ready for their opportunities. Everybody has to be a star in their role. And it's good to see those guys, make the plays that we know they're capable of, that we see every day in practice.
Johnny, you talked about this before, about you were willing to switch up the lineup, whatever you needed to do to break this, to get a win. Was that kind of the thought process of moving Juice maybe to the bench and maybe shaking up the lineup a little bit, or was that more of an injury-type based thing? You just didn't want to get him the start?
More of an injury-based thing for Juice, more of an injury-based thing for him and where he is and his preparation and what we're doing. But I thought he was terrific considering everything he went through in preparing for this game. I thought he gave us a huge lift. And the thing I loved about him, he played the same way he played if he started. His role didn't change from the standpoint of his mindset. Like sometimes a guy, look at their role being diminished if I went to the bench, but he took it, he had maturity. He was mature about how he approached it. You couldn't even tell if he was starting or came off the bench. He just was out there competing.
You talked about Tyler hitting some big threes in the first half. He also played some good defense in the post in the first half, combining with Moustapha. What did you see about those two guys kind of leading you in the first half?
Well, first, Tyler's easy to play with. He knows how to play. He pretty much keeps it simple on the floor. Basically, he doesn't do anything he can't do out there. And so, therefore, he's somebody that can consistently help you in a lot of different areas, whether it be defensively or offensively. and that's what he was able to do. I thought he made some big contributions with his activity defensively. He fought in the post. Post D is hard. Those guys are big. They're physical. He's down there battling Ezra. Ezra's probably about 6'8", about 240, 245. So, the young man did a great job for us with his fight, with his competitiveness. And Moustapha was great. The biggest thing I saw Moustapha do, of course, his offensive package is good. He's got a really good touch, can make shots. But the thing I saw him do tonight, which I hadn't seen him do as much, is his offensive rebound putbacks. I think he had like 3 or 4 offensive rebound putbacks, and that's something that he is capable of adding to his game. That's going to even help him to grow his game even more because we know if he touches the ball, he can score. He has good touch. But now he's going and pursuing the basketball, making plays that way too. Is going to help him get better.
Debo Coleman had really been struggling offensively. You move him out of the starting lineup. He had a big night tonight. He had some big buckets. He had some big offensive rebounds. How did you like his bounce back?
I really loved his bounce back. He's been in the funk, and players go through that. Nothing you can do. I mean, these are 18 to 22-year-olds. I mean, you're going to go through. Even the NBA guys go through it periodically. So, he was in a little bit of a funk. So it was good to see him get his mojo back. Good to see him get out there and knock down the shots he knows he's capable of knocking down. Play with confidence, play with aggressiveness, and that's who he's been. Most of the season for us. So it's been a tough stretch, and but nobody's more disappointed than probably he was and me and everyone else because, we know we're representing something bigger than ourselves, representing our university, representing our students, our fans. And so we all want to win. I mean, obviously. And so I think that weight, because he cared, may have built up, even more and made it even more difficult for him to kind of shake it. So it took a little longer to shake it probably than maybe it would have. But it comes from a good place because I think he cared.
Earlier in the week, Keyshawn posted onto social media kind of an apology for the way things have been going, and also a defense of you as the coach of the team. When you saw that, what did it mean to you, and do you feel like the guys kind of responded on behalf of that?
First, I don't keep up with any of that stuff. So for me, I'm oblivious until you tell me something like that. I'm not gonna know it. And I will say this, I love my guys. You know me. You guys have seen me long enough here. I'm a coach hard. I'm a coach, as hard as I can. I'm going to teach, and I'm going to compete as hard as I can every time out. And, I appreciate you saying that they had my back, which is great. But, but that says a lot about them and who they are and what they see on a daily basis. But, they don't need to fight my battles for me. I'm fine. I've been blessed to do this, for a long time. And I love coaching. I love competing. And I'm going to continue to love coaching and competing.
And I wanted to ask you real quick about the pregame evaluation for Juice, because when he was up here, he said he wasn't sure he was going to go today. So what was kind of the monitoring you guys had of him, and when did you know that he was ready to contribute to you?
Well, like I say, really didn't know until today because of, his situation. But I know he's a tough kid. I've seen him play through a number of things all year long. I mean, he's played through some things that, I've seen kids who they're going to sit out for. So this young man, he's very competitive. He wants to compete. And so it's no surprise that he was able to, muster up, what he had to do to come out and compete again today because it's no surprise. I mean, we wouldn't put a young man out there. It's going to put him in harm's way no matter what. And but it's something that he could play with or play through, and he was able to do that today.
We've talked all season about the leadership that Darius brings you guys, but what can be said about his composure in that moment with the game on the line, get the dribble drive, reverse layup, and how proud of him are you?
I'm extremely proud of him. We drew it up for him to have the ball at the end to make that play, and he made the play. We drew it up. We wanted him to create, off the dribble, with that time on the clock. We weren't sure if they were going to be in man or zone because they had gone some zone late in the game. And so we came out with a play that, we can run against both man and zone, but the bottom line is still puts the ball in his hands at the end to make the play. And he made the play. And so I'm very proud of him. He's a senior, senior moment, stepping up, when he had to. And so I'm very proud of him.
Speaking of those senior moments, Darius and Keyshawn were struggling throughout the night. They both step up late. I'm just wondering, what do you think about having guys like that maybe they're struggling and having an off night, but they're able to hit buckets in the clutch?
The biggest thing for those guys is their composure, to stay composed and wait for your opportunities to present themselves. And I thought they both did, whether it's DJ, with the layup, or Keyshawn knocking down 2 big free throws when it's only a 2-point game with still 1.8 to go. I've seen stranger things happen. So if he goes 1 for 2, all of a sudden they get a Hail Mary. They can throw a 3-ball down there. Here we go again. So I was really, really proud of both of those guys making those plays at the end. They made winning plays. And so Those are guys we depend on, and I guess the game plan against them were to kind of take them out as best they could. And so I thought other guys had a chance to step up. And that's what you have to have when you have a good team. Other guys got to be ready for those moments and play off those guys. And I thought the rest of our team was able to do that today.
Johnny, when you go through a streak like that, losing streak like that, the players, we asked them earlier, they were elated to finally get that snap. But for you as a coach, how frustrating? I mean, you've probably been through it as a player and maybe an assistant, something, but how frustrating and how much does it kind of take a toll on you as you're going through something like that, especially with how much the expectations were for this team going into the season?
Absolutely. I'd be lying if I say it wasn't challenging, because it is. I mean, it's very tough. And next, I have high expectations, even beyond expectations of what everyone has for us. Our own expectations and my expectations for us. So like I said, it's disappointing because I know what we're capable of doing, and I believe in our guys, and they believe in each other. Just you go through a stretch here. This league is very unforgiving. One game can become 2 quick, 2 can become 4, 4 can become 6, and it can be in the blink of an eye because there are no bye weeks or opportunities to kind of regroup and get in the gym and just concentrate on us for a week. You're going right to another opponent. We play today. That's a great, really good win. Then we got to turn around. We play Wednesday. We coming right back. So it's no time. And I think you see that if you look at the league, you see that going through with a number of the teams. They are going through similar situations where you're like, wow, but then all of a sudden they go through a stretch where they're doing well, they gain some momentum. And so that's what I'm learning about the league. You just have to keep going one game at a time, throw everything you can into it, and then you got to move on because there's no downtime. There's no time to kind of catch your breath. You're going right to another opponent.
I obviously want to ask about the defense tonight. Obviously, the defense hasn't been playing up to par this season, but they came in and forced 19 turnovers. Although Utah did shoot well from the field, you guys were able to make an impact on the game defensively that way.
No, absolutely. They're a terrific shooting team. And so, our defense is activity. We want to pressure. We want to try to turn you over. We want to play, up-tempo. And I thought we were able to do that through stretches of the game tonight. We were able to kind of get the game, played, the way we wanted to play it. And that can be challenging because they're trying to play it a certain way, and we're both fighting for our systems. But I thought our guys were able to do a good job of, forcing some turnovers, which leads out to some transition baskets for us. And that's when I think when we're at our best. And
how frustrating for you is, as we've perceived as a defensive-minded coach, to see the team going through that losing streak mainly due to poor defense?
Yeah, it cuts me deep, to be quite frank, because that's the one thing we've always hung our hat on everywhere I've been is our ability to guard. And, we're capable, and I think we're getting that. Today was a good sign. I thought we guarded better today. But that's what we have to hang our hat there. If you're going to win anything significant, you're going to have to do it on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, it's good we got offense and guys that can score, and that's good. But defense is what wins at the end of the day. You got to guard better, and that's something for me because that's such a big emphasis for us and what we do that's been challenging. But our guys, and not our guy, I mean, I'll take all the responsibility. Like I said, I don't need that. I'll take the blame for it. I got to do a better job at helping these guys understand what we're trying to do, understand our schemes a little bit better to try to help them because, we're all in this thing together. And their effort, they're trying to do the things. It's just that we have to do it better. We have to teach it better maybe to help them to, for it to stick.
Coach, I know you're worried about Utah. I know you haven't jumped into the scouting report, but you got a big home game coming up on Wednesday against Kansas State. I know they struggled earlier, then they strung together some really good wins in the league. I know they've kind of, they've lost 3 in a row now, but just kind of been up and down. But just what do you know about Kansas State at this point?
I hadn't really seen much of them except when I'm scouting teams that we're playing. So when I scout the teams we're playing, I don't really look at the other team other than, are they playing man-to-man or are they up-tempo? I may pick up that stuff, but I don't really study them. So I'll start studying them today to find out, who they are. I know they're very talented. I do know that. I know Tang does a good job with his team. I do know that. So we've got to really work hard and prepare ourselves properly, because it's going to be another, hard-fought game.
And obviously, you're approaching the final stretch of the season. A big win takes the weight off your guys' shoulders. But now what's the message to the team to finish strong and pull out as many wins as you can?
Well, we have to keep it in perspective, and we have to take a next-play mentality. As good as this was, we need to use this game going forward. Now that we've, got a game we're able to win. But, next game is next play for us. So we have to try to go 1-0 in the next game. So we take the lessons that we learned from this game. There's some positive things in this game, of course. But there's some things that we have to improve on from the stat sheet that we have to carry forward when we play, Kansas State coming up on Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys.
you,
I'll
Coach.
take
Appreciate
care.
it.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, after Utah ties the game on that, it seemed like they got a million offensive rebounds on that possession to tie it up, and then you call a timeout, DJ. Was there any doubt that you were going to the hole on that one, or talk us through that final play?
Honestly, the last few possessions they went zone, so we had drilled one of our zone plays. They ended up going man, and I had the matchup I like, so I took advantage of it.
Do you guys feel like there's been a weight lifted off your guys' shoulders to finally snap that losing streak, the one that was causing so much attention?
Man, does it? It feels great. It shows that we're a team full of resiliency. We fought through all the adversity that we had been through, and we stuck together. Not every team is going to be able to snap a losing streak like that. Some teams may just falter toward the end of the year.
Moustapha, you guys obviously got down early, 12-2, and then Johnny takes that timeout, and then you come out of that, you're playing more aggressive, especially you. We saw a level of physicality from you we haven't really seen before. Just take me through your mindset. Were you just pissed off? What went into your mindset going into your aggressive play?
After that timeout, we just come out, and then my coach would be like, play normal, be yourself, play aggressive, and then trust my teammate, they involve me in the game, and just keep passing me the ball, because they trust me, so I just had to do what I had to do.
What was the hardest thing about playing against this Utah team? I mean, it was a pretty close game, pretty much this whole entire game.
Their length. You got a lot of size out there, so we have to really make sure we do our job as far as boxing out and rebounding. And, the kid Magnan, he shoots to cover off the ball. I feel like a few times we lost him either in the zone or in rotation. So we have to do a better job of that.
This is for all you guys. Keyshawn puts out a statement this week, kind of saying, we're apologizing a little bit for that. The season is gone. Defends Johnny. How much is that for you guys going in this game was about pride, playing for pride, trying to showcase that, things may not have gone the way you guys wanted them, but you want to finish on a strong note?
We just understand. Well, we just had to take advantage of, the opportunity we had to play the game. I feel like sometimes we lose that. But just by the adversity of the losses we've been having, that's just a lot of frustration. But that was a good statement Keyshawn put out. Everything is on us, and we owe a lot to Coach Dawkins. He don't quit on us no matter what, lose, how we feel. He gonna keep coaching us hard, keep being a great person to us. So we owe UCF a lot and Coach Dawkins a lot. So
is that criticism unfair, you think, on Johnny?
I didn't see it, so what were you referring to?
Well, just social media criticism, fans criticizing when you guys are going through a losing streak. Does that kind of criticism unfair to fall on a coach like that?
Yeah,
I definitely think it's unfair. Being under Coach Dawkins for 4 years and knowing him on more of a personal level. He eats, sleeps, and lives basketball. He never gives up on any kid. Every day he's the same guy. He's gonna coach you hard, no matter how hard you even push him away. Like, he's still gonna be the same guy. He's gonna push you to your maximum capacity. And he wants better for us as young men rather than us being basketball players. So I can't say the criticism falls on him. As a coach, of course, he's gonna take that criticism. But as players, he does everything he's supposed to be doing. He coaches us the right way, coaches us hard, he's positive with us, and when he gives us constructive criticism, we all have to respond the right way. So I don't think it should fall on him at all.
Darius Juice, the offense wasn't really flowing early. Moustapha, Tyler keep you guys alive in the first half. What does that say about the young guys really stepping up and keeping you guys in it? And then obviously you guys take over in the second half.
Like Coach always says, our strength is in our numbers. We had guys step up today and make some huge plays. The ball wasn't falling for us, so we had to rely more on our defense. So we're trying to get back to that aspect, making sure we're defending to the level that we need to.
For you guys, Debo Coleman had been starting, fell out of the starting lineup. He had some really huge buckets tonight, some long three-pointers that were really critical. Talk about what he was able to provide.
I think like today, Debo was himself, like crashing, doing the dirty work. Every time Debo does the dirty work, he's gonna have a great day. Shoot.
For a guy like Debo to fight through all the adversity he's been through. He's been a little bit of a slump these past few games. He's not shooting the ball as well as he wants to shoot it, but he continues to show up every day. He continues to show up and compete and go hard. He does all the little things and the dirty work that a lot of people don't see who watch the games. But if you really know basketball, you can see a lot of the game changing plays that he makes.
For Juice and Moustapha, whether it's illness, injury, what have you guys been going through over the course of the last week or so? When did you know that you're going to be able to go today?
Oh, for me, when we got back from Colorado, so you know the altitude and stuff. Yeah, I was kind of down when we got back from Colorado. That's why I wasn't really ready to go help my teams, but I feel better now.
Yeah, for me, it's been a little struggle for me to like make moves and cuts like that. But I didn't even expect to play today. Going into this week, I just had to stay sharp, stay with Coach Matthew, and just keep my stuff ready for the game. And had to give myself up for the team. So I know what I had to do. I know my teammates need me, and I'm gonna play through anything for them.
Kind of back to Andrew's point. I mean, I know that it probably feels great to get this win, but that was a tough road trip for you guys. I mean, first home game in almost 2 weeks, dealing with health, adversity, all sorts of stuff. Does this reintroduce a level of confidence for you guys to finally get the monkey off your back and get this win?
I don't think it's ever been a confidence issue. I just think it's, just paying attention to those little details. We have a very talented team, and we have a strong bench as well. I think, building on this game is going to be good for us. And I honestly believe that, we're a tough matchup for anybody. Because, once we click, it's going to be hard to stop us.
Darius. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
As a leader of this team, you've been a part of Johnny Dawkins' basketball teams that have been up there in the nation regarding defensive rankings and defensive stats. Coming into this game, you guys are near the bottom or the bottom of the Big 12, so it's been a different kind of season for you guys. But you guys come in, force 19 turnovers, let them score only one of your lower averages this season. Was defense an emphasis coming in tonight?
Defense is an emphasis, every night. I think the team, we're coming to the realization that, offensively we're great. But, if we just put a little bit more effort and get a little bit more stops down the stretch of games, it'll push our team over the hump.
And what changed defensively tonight? What allowed you guys to step up?
I think we were just more aggressive. We were pressuring the basketball, making guys uncomfortable. I think a lot of the times we let guys get too comfortable on the court. They see stuff that they like. They're all good basketball players, so they're able to read and react.
You guys talked a little bit about this, the sigh of relief after getting this win. How much, and you mentioned a little bit just a minute ago about being able to carry this over for the next couple of games. Do you think you can be able to do that? Be able to kind of, once you've got this kind of off your back now, you guys can really focus on trying to just win one game at a time and finish out strong?
Yeah, that's exactly what our goal is. Just focus on going 1-0 each game we play. I think we have 5 guaranteed games left, so just focusing on our next opponent, just going 1-0.
Moustapha, what was your mindset early in the game? You kind of took over for a period. You were 1 rebound shy of your first double-double. What was your mindset?
I mean, just go out there and ready to play. I know my team needs me, and my teammates need me too. So I just got to go out there, every day, compete hard, and ready to play. And
were you feeling it? We saw you clapping for the ball. Like, were you feeling the energy?
I mean, yeah, the energy gonna be here every day. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing and trust my teammates.
I know that this game is about short-term memory. Obviously feels good to win today, but you got another tough opponent in Kansas State coming up. What's the mindset going into that matchup?
We haven't had a chance to watch film on them yet, but just the same thing, going 1-0. Once it hits midnight, this is over with. It feels great, gives us some more confidence going into Tuesday.
You talk about confidence and going 1-0. Obviously, you guys, to begin the season, were competing with the top teams in the country, calling yourself that, and over that 7-game losing streak, it seemed like momentum was lost. Being able to bounce back and get this win, what did you see that maybe went wrong during that 7-game losing streak?
I just think our defense. I feel like this game we took a better approach as far as our defense. Pressuring guys, making sure they're uncomfortable. I feel like a lot of those games we didn't follow the game plan to the best of our abilities. We had a little bit of mental lapses, letting some of the awareness guys, get off or get some easy looks. So I think we did a better job of that this game.
Thank you.
Well, congrats to Central Florida. They made just enough plays to make it happen. Proud of our I mean, we had a great start to the game. We're up 15-4, right? And then all of a sudden, we couldn't. It looked like we hadn't played offense for quite some time. But to get into the locker room only down 1, I was actually really pleased with that because a lot of things didn't go right there the last, 12 minutes of the first half. Just couldn't find a way to get enough stops at the end of the day. And then, of course, it's a catch-22. It's amazing. I mean, we shoot 51.5% from the field, and it's not very often when you shoot over 50% that you lose a game. At the same time, it's, our offense with 19 turnovers. I mean, those are just really difficult things to come from to overcome. In particular, it's hard to overcome, period, but it's really hard to overcome on the road. And so it's like, how in the world did we even have a chance to win the game, in some respects? So our zone, I thought, slowed them down a little bit and gave us a little momentum down the stretch. But, credit to them, they made the play, when it counted. And you get in the Big 12, such a high level of basketball. And there's always those moments. There's one or two, three possessions where you got to find a way to seize the moment, and made a couple mistakes on that last possession and weren't able to get the stop. So, they had some guys that really played well. I thought, number 52, the freshman, Thiam, 8 for 10 from the field, 4 offensive boards, 18 points. That's really good efficiency. And I thought Debo Coleman made a couple monster threes there in that second half that just kind of kept them at bay, so to speak, and just kept them in front enough. And Darius Johnson is a really good player. That three was monstrous. And then, of course, the last play. We did a good job as a whole on Keyshawn Hall. And we had some guys perform at a high level. But, our starters played, I thought, as a whole, our starting lineup played really well. We got 0 production out of our bench tonight. And our bench has been pretty good most of the year. But tonight we got nothing. And so when you got on the road, man, you need everybody. And we just didn't have quite enough.
Coach just kind of talked about it. The fact you were in the game at the end, they had a double-digit lead with about 6 minutes to go. You guys battled back to have a chance in the final seconds. What did you like about your team in that span to get back in it?
Yeah, we had a good look to us. Like our guys, we stuck with it. Guys played with a lot of confidence. Our guys had really good voices in those timeouts and just kind of had a stick-to-itiveness to it, and you just got to find a way. And so we didn't flinch when we were, down by that margin, and we were able to string some stops together. Our kind of that soft 2-2-1, press to 11, I thought got them a little more off attack. And I think it gave us some confidence, and then we were able to get loose in transition and got a couple big offensive boards there. Obviously, Gabe was really good tonight. I think he only had 3 points at halftime, and that's what you expect out of it, a senior to kind of, all right, guys, and I thought we did a better job getting him the ball, whether it was calling sets or just through playing, right, and finding him. We took better care of the ball in the second half than the first half. I mean, we had 19 turnovers, but 12 of them were in the first half. I mean, it was just that part of it was. But we just hung in there, and gave ourselves a chance. And, in this league, I don't care who you play or what the record is. You got to give yourself chances to win. And, I'm not going to say we're one stop away from winning because it probably would have forced overtime. But certainly I felt like we had a lot of the momentum, if we could have got to that overtime. But that's how it goes, man. You make the play or you don't. But I thought our guys had a good look, that especially our starting 5. But you just can't. There was just a stretch there. It was like, what are we doing? So you got to be able to overcome that.
Coach, you mentioned starting the game shooting well, shooting 51% from the field. And you guys were attacking the paint a lot.
Yeah.
UCF ranks near the bottom in Big 12 for defensive ranking. But what changed throughout the game that allowed UCF to capitalize on those turnovers?
Yeah, early on, we did. We got it inside. Lovering's a really good player, a really good passer. That first possession of the game, for example, went basically right to the 30-second, shot clock, and Lawson kind of hit a little jump hook. And we kept throwing it inside, and they were kind of bringing the double, and we were able to get some clean looks off of it. And then we went away from it, and we didn't handle their. I thought they ramped up the pressure. They got some momentum, right? And then when they create turnovers, now they get easy baskets, and they just feed. They love that. That's a big part of what they do is score off of creating turnovers. So. We got a little bit disjointed that way, and we got to play with more poise and composure, in that time. And we were better in the second half, certainly. And then on the flip side of it, they did a good job. I mean, they had some guys make some. I mean, Thiam, some of the shots, we all know he can stretch you out a little bit. Makes his first shot, which is a 3. They got loose on the offensive glass. Too many offensive boards that we gave up. And you got to be able to eliminate losing when you're on the road. You got to defend, you got to rebound, you got to take care of the ball.
Darius Johnson obviously gets off the dribble penetration, hits the reverse layup. But then you guys still have a couple seconds to maybe get a possession going. What happened on the inbounds? Like, take me through what you saw.
Well, first of all, they called the timeout with 7 seconds to go. We had played a lot of zone there up to that point down the stretch, right? So you go man zone, and we decided to go man. It was just a simple high ball screen, easy switch like we've been switching all night. And they put, Johnson and Hall in a two-man game, so to speak. And, what happens to a lot of teams in that point, guys don't want to get scored on. So you got to play great team defense. And just rewatching the clip, we let Johnson get to his right hand. He is lethal to that hand. And we had done a pretty good job making him go the other way most of the night. And so we made a mistake there, and then we kind of hugged our guy. And so then it goes through, and it looked like to me Ezra just kind of got it and just threw it as fast as he could to the open guy, which is, I think he was throwing to Gabe, and it didn't look like it was a very good pass. I don't think Gabe was probably expecting it, either. And so you got to be able to have poise and composure there and at least get some sort of shot up, maybe a half-court shot. You got to get something, right? And maybe a miracle happens, but that's the worst thing you can have happen is just throw it away. And, for all intents and purposes, now it's a real miracle has to happen.
Coach, we talked about how this was a UCF team kind of struggling defensively. What made it so hard for your team on the offensive side of the ball to kind of get over the hump?
Yeah, well, first of all, UCF's a really talented team now. They've been in almost every game. Obviously, when you lose 7 in a row, it's not what you want to go through. But, it's a flip of the coin. Like, part of me is just like, well, we were incredibly – when you look at the shooting numbers, like, we were super, super efficient. Like, I mean, if you shoot 52% on the road, 51.5% on the road, that's hard to do. It's really hard to do. I thought our guys really looked for the open man, did some very good things that way. It was just the stretch where, we just had all these turnovers, and it just looked like, you can overthink this thing, but it's simple basketball, right? When teams are getting into you and teams are you see a guy open, pass to the guy that's open. You can't play hero ball, right? And so you got to be able to play with poise and composure. And it's game 27 today. Is that right? Game 27 today. So we've been through the Big 12 now. Right, we've played Houston, you play Iowa State, you play Kansas, you play. So you've seen every style of play, and we've been doing a way better job of taking care of the ball. It has been a bit of an Achilles heel for us at times, but we've really taken steps forward that way, but it reared its ugly head tonight.
Coach, you talked about your own bench scoring problems tonight. Yeah. Obviously, UCF has kind of shifted around their lineup. They moved Debo and Jordan Ivy-Curry to the bench.
Yep.
And they outscore you 33-4 off the bench tonight.
Yeah.
Was that really a big factor in this game, having those guys off the bench?
It takes everybody, right? It takes a team. It's team. Basketball's a team game. Obviously, you got to play 5 at a time. Our bench has been very good this year, and tonight, I don't know this for a fact, but I would venture to say this was our worst performance from our bench on the season. In every facet, scoring output, defensive, right, mentality, rebounding, all that. I mean, just if you look at the plus minus isn't always everything, but if you just look at the plus minus, I mean, every guy, our starting 5 plus Zach Keller were all positive, right? And then you go to the other 4 guys, and the minus discrepancy is very, very strong. And so our bench has been good this year, but certainly not tonight.
I asked this of Gabe earlier. I know the results haven't been there, but how do you feel like your team is adjusting now to the travel and sort of the unusual nature of the realigned Big 12?
Yeah, this is our first year in the Big 12, so it's kind of what we know, right? But it is different. Like when you're, it's on a direct flight, it's 5 hours to get here or whatever, but that's just part of it. Everybody's got to travel. Everybody's got to go through it. We don't really talk about it. We just kind of give our guys the itinerary, try to set it up the best that we can, adapt to time zones. It's life on the road. Everybody's got to play on the road. We've been really good at home, right? So teams have to adjust to us when they come to our place. And so It works both ways. The bottom line is to win on the road. In the Big 12, it's an unbelievable league. I'm so jacked to be a part of the Big 12. It's a high-level basketball. You got to show up every night. Right? You're playing usually every 3 days, maybe 4 days. This was a little longer break for us because our last game was on Monday. But you got to have a great competitive spirit. You got to be physically strong. You got to be mentally strong, and embrace the travel, embrace the competition, embrace all that the Big 12 brings to the table.
Last one. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. All right, take care. Thank you.
All right, let's start with questions for Gabe.
All right, just talk us through that final part of the game. UCF, I know they were up by 11. I think around the 6-minute mark. You guys really, rallied to tie the game late. What kind of worked for you to make it a game at the very end?
Yeah, I mean, we just kept saying it's going to be 40 minutes, and we switched to zone, and it ended up working in our favor, got some stops, and just kept playing until the end.
This was a UCF team coming off of a 7-game losing streak, obviously playing hungry. What did you see out of them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we knew all week coming in that they're just a talented team that's maybe struggled to get some wins, but they've been in a lot of close ones. So, yeah, we emphasized that, and obviously just didn't do what it takes on the road. Can't turn it over 19 times. So,
opened the game up. You guys were up 15-4. Seemed like you were taking advantage of some defensive lapses, and then they started getting really aggressive on the closeouts, active hands, turning 12 of your turnovers into a 16-2 run. Just kind of take me through what you guys were seeing when they ramped up their physicality.
Yeah, I mean, they just, they're a talented team. They're athletic, and we knew that they try to make the game a little hectic for you. And like I said, that's something we talked about all week. And yeah, just can't have 19 turnovers. That's just not going to do it on the road.
What was the difference between the Utah team that came off those 2 big wins and now the Utah team that played here tonight?
Turnovers. I mean, that's something we emphasized. I think it was like 7 turnovers against Kansas, 13 against Kansas State, and whatever. I think it was like 10 game prior to that. So it's been a little bit of an issue for us here and there, and yeah, we just got to value the ball. It's hard to score when you turn the ball over, and I think we shot a really high percentage, and so you just do the math on those. You limit the turnovers, cut them in half, and it's a different game. So.
You guys tied up with that big 3. UCF calls timeout. What did you expect them to do? Obviously, Darius Johnson, the point guard, lays it up there. What did you expect to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we knew they were just going to try and get downhill, probably try to get a foul maybe or something. But yeah, I didn't really see the whole play. I was kind of in the corner, and I saw the switch happen, get downhill, and yeah, just tough bucket.
I know the results haven't been there for your team, but how have you guys started to become more accustomed to the travel of this league? I know it's 2,000 miles from home.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was, we left a day early for this one just because it's, 2 time zone difference. So travel wasn't too bad, though. I mean, can't really make an excuse out of it. Every team's got to do it. So, yeah.
Has it been kind of like what you expected or tougher than expected for the course of the season?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I didn't know what to expect coming in. Just Pac-12 was 2-game road trips every time, and that was, different in its own right. And this one was just, further away, but you're only gone for a day usually, so it is what it is. Yeah.
Following that driving layup by Darius with 2 seconds left, you guys obviously had the turnover on the inbounds. How important is it to stay mentally locked in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that play was, I don't even really know what happened. I was kind of trying to curve back in, and I think Ezra thought I was trying to go back out the other way, and yeah, just kind of a mental lapse there, and those can't happen in that situation because who knows what happens. 3 seconds, I think, on the clock, and yeah, who knows what would have happened, but just gotta lock in that final moments.
The first 3-pointer on the first from both sides came in the middle of the second half. I mean, you guys were attacking the paint really well. What did you see down low?
In the paint?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just always try to emphasize getting it down low, and I think that usually is a good things for us, if they're trying to double or whatnot. So try to keep emphasizing that. And, yeah, I think that's how we started out the game well, was getting it down low a little bit. And then I think we got away from it a little bit. And I think we had some turnovers just off of, ball screens and whatnot in the middle of the paint. And, yeah, usually just good stuff happens, so we try to emphasize that all the time.
coming from the Pac-12. How is the Big 12 different? I know you guys have had some big wins coming off, particularly against the Kansas schools.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a unique conference. It's we always knew it was going to be more physical a little bit. That's kind of what we heard coming in from our coaches all summer, and it has been for sure. But yeah, I would say like every night you're getting a chance to play against really good teams, and Pac-12 is different in its own right, different kind of play, maybe a little more fast-paced, a little more skill-oriented, I guess you could say, just more pace and space. And I think this one's a little bit more just physical, get it down low, rebound, all that stuff. So we knew coming in that it was going to be like that. That's something we've always emphasized at Utah, and so no excuses there.
You had 23 on the day, shot it efficiently from deep. Talk about your game, what you liked out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an up and down year for me. So I'm just trying to take what the defense gives me. Sometimes, they try to take me out of it. That's how it started a little bit. They were kind of into my chest to start, and so I didn't get many shots in the first half, but just kept trying to, cut and go off screens and whatnot, and just take what they give me, and was able to knock down some shots. So.
You guys are coming to the final stretch of the season, just a few games left. What do you hope to improve upon, and how do you hope to finish off?
I mean, it's a long season, and that's obviously a really frustrating one. You can't, in our position, drop games like that sometimes, and so just gotta, come back ready to get better. I mean, we have a great opportunity in Arizona, great team, obviously top 20 team right now, and so just every day you gotta come in. The season's gonna be over before you know it, so you just can't take any day for granted, especially me as a senior. So just come in, keep trying to get better, and great opportunity coming up.
Thanks for your time, Gabe.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Thank you.